All right, so on to the beta quadra. So this is probably arguably maybe the most exciting quadra in a lot of ways. I think you can make a case for that. Um, so this quadra is basically formed around Ti, Fe, Ni, and Se. Those are the four major elements that are being focused on in this particular quadrant. All four types really care for that. The types that are involved on this are going to be your SLEs, your LSIs, uh, IEI, and your EIE. Okay. In other words, it's going to be your ESTPs, your ISTJs, your ENFJs, and your INFP. Okay. Socionic style. So as I said, all focusing on Ti, Fe, Ni, and Se. They all are valuing those four elements. It's not the only elements that they have. Those are just the four that they value the most. Okay. So what can we say? So this particular quadra tends to be very interested in hierarchies, climbing the ladder, being champion, being important, being somebody somewhere, okay, in charge of things. They value that. They aspire to that. They try to um, become important, be influential, do things like that. Okay, this is the drive of SE to want to expand, to do more, to be more, get more money, acquire more things, um, have the energy and drive to go after those things and continue pursuing more stuff. Once you've accomplished this, okay, you're not satisfied. You want more. Keep going. What else we got? What's next? Okay. They're often going to be governed by rules, structure, things that they like to sort of figure out for themselves. So a lot of this is the TIing of things. It's a group that really likes categories, classifications of things. They like to make structure of the world around them. They often can go about doing things in a kind of a structured, organized way, not because they're about routine or whatever, but because they think they found an efficient, effective way to get things done. They can often think in terms of classifying whole groups of people. That's often very common. So, looking at political parties, different teams, different races, different sexes, different things, and then thinking about things in these kind of broad categories. You know, these are culturally male stereotype behaviors and clothing and stuff. These are culturally female clothing behaviors and so on, right? This is stuff that this team of people do, or this is stuff that that group of people do. This is the general things that we tend to think that Democrats like, and this is the general things that Republicans. They tend to like creating broad, sweeping categories like that. Um, that it's just it makes things faster and efficient to just kind of say, well, look, most of the time everything goes here, and that's the usual way we think about it. Yeah, we know every now and again there's some exceptions, whatever, it doesn't matter, but this is overall kind of how it is, and keep going. Um, they tend to like thinking in those terms. Um, this is a group again. The hierarchies, they're going after things, but they're very inclusive. They like groups. They think about groups. They want to be a part of groups. They want to be a part of teams, do group activities, gather people together, and let's all hang out, talk. Let's all go work towards a common goal. So that's a huge part of beta is working towards a common goal. And the goal can be sometimes as simple as just like, hey, we're just a group of guys that get together and we play video games. Or it could be as simple as we're a group of people that we get around and um, play a team sport or something like that, right? It could be something rather mundane like that, um, or some kind of club or whatever. And that's kind of what brings us together. But they also very much look for the profound, deeper meaning to things. They want to find that deeper meaning, that deeper purpose to their life. They're looking for something to really go after that brings their life into true meaning. So it doesn't matter which type it is, usually. They all very much value NI. And with FE, it's this collectivist NI. So this is why we see a lot of characters that are going to be people like civil rights activists, people like Martin Luther King, people like Malcolm X. You're going to see individuals like that, that their whole goal, the purpose was to bring people together for a better world, a meaningful world where we're all united, where people are treated fairly. And that was the singular purpose for the lives of those people. That's what gave their life meaning, made it profound what they were going after, and doing things like that. Even types like SLEs, the ESTPs that have weak NI, they're often looking for that profound meaning. They want to sometimes enjoy doing something in the moment, some kind of activity right now. And in that moment, they're so focused on what they're doing that they can feel a sense of purpose, a sense of clarity to what they have to do right now. So it could be I'm driving a race car and my purpose right now is driving this car faster than the other guy and compete with these other cars and so on. I need to get to the finish line and so on. And in the act, time slows down, purpose is given to them. They feel a sense of purpose. My purpose is to win right now, is to get there. I know exactly what I have to do. My life is not ambiguous for the moment. For at least for now, I know exactly what I have to do. I have clarity and purpose. That's them seeking that NI. So all of these types are very big on that. They're all very big again at seeking higher meaning, um, profound things. So this can make them seem very romantic, very poetic, very dramatic, just overly dramatic about stuff. They'll talk about things like, this is the purpose of my life. This is what we all should be striving for, because this is going to be a great thing for everybody. You know, world peace, world cure, world hunger. Like, like we all need to band together, and that to them is very meaningful, and that's what we should do. And they're very dramatic about it. We need to get on this. We need to do this. Right? It lacks the cynicism of the gamma quadra, perhaps, where the gammas might go, look, the whole whatever it is you're trying to do, that's cute, but it's not realistic. It's not going to work. It just doesn't work like that. You know, it's not going to happen. You're not going to just cure world hunger overnight because you're trying to mobilize everybody together to do it. It's not going to happen. Right. That's kind of the more cynicism based on practical reality that gammas tend to have. But betas don't view it that way. Betas can get swept up in the idea that if we really band together and we put enough force and emphasis on this, we can make anything happen. We can move mountains and change the world. Very dramatic like that. We're going to change the world with what we're doing. And very much in a moving the whole social landscape to do it. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much a lot of them. There can be a lot of religious tones to these people. Um, whether it be literally they're very religious and they're referring to God, they're referring to Allah, some kind of God, whatever. Um, you could think of the Crusades, uh, jihad. You could think of all of that kind of religious fervor, even from the good and bad. Okay, every religion thinks they're gonna have good and bad stuff. Okay, so please don't think I'm making it negative. But all of that kind of religious fervor where we're doing something for some greater cause, some greater good, some divine cause, maybe, that's very beta stuff. Very beta stuff, very hierarchical, literally going to God himself. He's above all of us. This is and he's providing us the NI, the thing to do, the righteous purpose for our lives. Very beta like stuff. Um, Fighting that good fight. Yeah. Okay. So you got a lot of that. Because of all of this, it tends to lead to in groups and out groups. It tends to lead to group formation, where it's very much about, this is what we're fighting for, or this is what we passionately care about. This is what we think matters to everybody or should matter. And we have so much energy and drive that we're going to push for that. We're going to create law and legislation for that. We're gonna move politics for that. We're gonna become politicians. There's a lot of politicians, a lot of major movers and shakers in society that come from beta. Many that come from gamma as well. Uh, some, like Galenko, would say that betas and gammas are the central quadras. So most of the politics, like literally politicians, major business leaders, presidents and ministers, uh, military leaders, like all these major leadership like positions are often coming from betas and gammas. And usually the alphas and the deltas are kind of like filling in the gaps here and there, or they're sort of choosing a side that they're going to vote for or whatever. But anyhow, a lot of betas are going to be celebrities, are going to be major leaders, as mentioned, politicians, so on. Lots and lots of them. Uh, so it forms groups. They like groups, large groups, big groups. You're part of my group. You're part of my team. As long as you're part of my team, we're cool. We believe in the same thing. Generally speaking, we're okay. So you can look at it like we're all Republicans. Okay, we're all Republicans. We're basically on the same team. Or we're all Democrats. Okay, we're all basically on the same team. We're part of the same political party. You could look at it as sports teams. Hey, we're all part of Manchester United. We're all Manchester United. That's what we're here for. Oh, you're part of the French football. Oh, you're French. Like very, very teams competing against each other. They very much like to do that a lot. Um, on a smaller scale, on a day-to-day kind of thing, these are groups that like to be more active. They like to get out there, do stuff. They don't want to be bored sitting around. Um, again, they want to be proactively going after things, uh, having fun together as a group, watching stuff, watching a movie together, playing with each other, playing games and stuff with each other, going out to do things. This is not a sit and relax kind of group of people. It's a much more energetic group of people. Uh, so very collectivistic, lots of joking around, lots of messing with people, just a high energy kind of group of people, high energy style. Um, um, yeah, it's a bit of a powerhouse style. I gotta say. I'm not even gonna hide it. It's a powerhouse kind of style. Um, there are, of course, some major trade-offs. Again, they're pitting groups against each other. They can be extremely groupthink, very collectivistic. Um, this can be a bit of like a mean girls kind of a thing too, where it's like we're like a super elite group of people, or we're our own little clique, we're our own little group of people, and you got to earn the right to be one of us. It's not that simple to just come in here and hang out, right? That's some alpha quadra type of thing. They'll kind of welcome anybody and be happy with everybody. But here we're exclusive. You got to be of a certain caliber to kind of hang with us. There tends to be a lot of that with beta. Um, and again, with the TI, this is a group that really they can mess around and joke around with a lot of things, but this is the group that's more likely to be more intense about their beliefs. They believe in things, and they believe in things like zealots. They believe in stuff. Whatever it might be. It could be a religious thing, or it could be believing in a cause, whatever it is. Save the puppies. They believe it, and they really believe it aggressively, intensely, um, whatever else. And in their minds, they're very much about you should believe in something. They kind of almost don't like it if you don't believe in something, or if you seem too lackadaisical about it, you're not that intense or fired up about something, like to them, then that just doesn't make sense to them. They're like, do you believe it or not? And if you believe it, then you should be passionately all about it. You shouldn't seem so like wishy-washy, and you shouldn't seem like somebody who doesn't put their money where their mouth is. You say you believe it, or you say that you're interested, but I don't see you putting in much effort to really do anything about it or get after it. They don't like that. They really want you to they respect people who actively go after what they believe in. So belief is a big part of this group. Let me see what else do I have on here. Again, very stubborn, very forceful. Even the NFs in this group, the ENFJs and the INFP, okay, the IEI, which has SE seeking, is kind of at the bottom. But even they can be very forceful, very stubborn people at times, especially in their beliefs. When they believe in a certain thing, no matter how ridiculous it might be, are they can be very stubborn and locked on that belief and believing that that is the thing that we should all aspire to do. And if only we would do it, we could all evolve and be better humans somehow. We could all be a better society for it. They really believe it. And often they believe that the stronger you believe, the more likely it is to actually be true. The more I can believe it, the more likely we're going to make it happen. They can get into that kind of stuff. Fight hard for what you believe in. That should be like the motto here for betas. Um, Very romantic again, very romantic group of people. A lot of poetics, a lot of romance, a lot of drama, a lot of big showy, a lot of SE and FE coming together. So a lot of doing stuff that is very overt, very emotive, very expressive, very dramatic. You know, really dressing up to the full nines, getting the horse and carriage kind of thing with very showy kind of stuff. They really like that a lot. And certainly kind of an aggressive kind of people. Even romantically, even sexually, they can be a little bit aggressive with each other, and they view that as fun. They view that as sexy, interesting, as showing interest. That's important. Romantically, they can really feel like you got to be willing to fight for things. You got to be willing to argue. You got to argue with them at times. You got to fight back at times. You got to be aggressive about things and be dramatic. Really, if you really care, you're going to be dramatic and show all these things that you're doing for them and do the flowers and do the horse-drawn carriage and do all these big things. They really want to see and feel it in a very over-the-top way. That's how you prove that you care. Arguing with them, fighting back with things, clearly seeing that you're arguing and fighting with them, that lets them know that you actually care enough to fight with them. You care enough to actually argue with them. You're showing passion and drive. That really lets them know that you actually care and matter. They really respond to that. So also very moody group because of all this. They don't mind the ups and downs of a relationship, being moody, being dramatic. Yesterday you were all lovey-dovey and so on. Today you're arguing about something and someone's throwing flowers through the front door. Like, but to them, they like all that drama. That just shows that you're passionate about something. You actually care. They like that. Whereas other groups would hate that. Alphas would hate that. It's just all this anger and emotion that disrupts the nice, calm vibe. They hate that. Deltas feel like this is way too much drama and way too much energy and work. Like, why? It's pointless. And they wouldn't like that either. Um, and gammas generally don't have as much FE as the big problem. Gammas don't really care as much for such dramatic displays of emotion and energy and affection and so on. They're much more subdued about all that kind of stuff. Um, so all is very, very beta stuff. Very important quadra again because they are big time movers and shakers. They make things happen. This is no way around it. This is a fiery quadra. Um, Alphas are very relaxed, open to people, very kind, much more happy feely, reminding you of the good old days when you were 10 around the Christmas tree and everyone got along and the world was great. Um, and you need that. That is important. Here with betas, you now get to where it's time to start fighting for things. It's time to start competing and showing who you are, being very passionate. This is why betas get talked about as being kind of the what do you want to call it, the teenager era of your life. In a sense, it's kind of like teenagers all of a sudden want to be unique snowflakes. They want to be overly dramatic about everything, and they all think they can change the world. uh like, just let me at them and watch my energy and drive and my creative ideas and I'll change the world and make it a better place. That's an abstract in general feeling that tends to be used to sort of describe betas a lot, and in general it works. Very fiery bunch in terms of belief. Because I have to say that because IEIs are not always that fiery. Sometimes they're very fiery and aggressive, but they're usually kind of a low energy kind of people. But anyway, so kind of is that. Probably the biggest difference and the biggest thing you'll see betas kind of quarreling with some of the other types is that they'll just kind of say some of the types are a little bit boring because they're not as dramatic. Other types don't seem to be quite as passionate as they are, not as fiery as they are. Other quadras may not be as ambitious as they are, as driven. Certainly not as flashy. Uh, those kind of the ways that betas may look at some of the other types. Um, the only other quadra that it can be similar and can kind of hang with betas in a lot of ways would be your gammas. Again, being another central type. Gammas also have a lot of SE, a lot of ambition and drive, but usually are not as flashy and are more pragmatic rather than idealistic. So you tend to see a lot of quarreling and a lot of interesting stuff between betas and gammas. Okay, I think I've ranted on enough about that. Yeah, for the moment, I guess that's enough with betas overall. Again, interesting group. Um, I admire their passion. I admire their fire. Obviously, it's cleared. So, interesting group as always. You can check out some of my other videos on the individual types for betas. I think I got all of them. Yeah, I do. I got all of them up in there. So you can go into that. As always, like, subscribe, leave your comments if you're a beta, what you think. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm gonna get a few betas on here and be like, "We rock, bro. We're the best." You know. Yeah, that kind of thing. So, see you on the next one.